The invisible rainbow. We are surrounded by a spectrum of forces that we cannot see, touch, or hear. These forces flow through us, shape us, and transform the very essence of life. Invisible to our eyes, but deeply intertwined with the fundamental structures of our existence. One such force is the electromagnetic field, pulsing silently around us. It hums across a wide range of frequencies, from the deep, low murmur of the earth to the high-pitched whispers of distant stars. And within the core of every living cell lies a code, a double helix of extraordinary complexity. DNA. It holds the secrets of life itself, wrapped tightly into a microscopic coil. But what happens when these silent frequencies, these invisible waves of energy, intersect with the code of life? The story begins with an understanding of DNA's unique properties. DNA is not just a passive blueprint for life, but a dynamic structure. A living antenna, capable of receiving and transmitting information. The interaction between DNA and electromagnetic fields is not new. It has been happening for millennia, silently weaving itself into the fabric of our evolution. But now, in the modern age, the intensity of this interaction has increased. Electromagnetic fields, or EMFs, are everywhere. From the low, barely perceptible vibrations of natural sources, to the sharp, continuous signals of our technology. DNA, the very thread of life, responds. It stretches, it shifts, it vibrates with these frequencies. And yet, we cannot see it. An invisible rainbow, connecting us to a spectrum that is both ancient and new. Science has begun to unravel this connection, and what they have found is both fascinating and troubling. Studies have shown that EMFs can cause DNA to react in unexpected ways. Stress proteins rise within cells, a biological signal that something is wrong. Strands of DNA can break, altering the very foundation of the genetic code. It is as if the invisible rainbow is pulling at the strands of life, subtly altering its course. The damage may be small, barely noticeable at first. A single break in the double helix here, a slight shift in protein expression there. But over time, these small changes accumulate. What was once a harmonious interaction becomes a strain, a burden on the delicate structure of life. Cancer. Genetic mutations. These are some of the most visible consequences. But there is more to the story. DNA, as an antenna, does not only respond to the modern barrage of man-made frequencies. It has always been connected to the electromagnetic fields of the Earth and cosmos. In its intricate design, DNA possesses the qualities of a fractal antenna. Self-symmetry and electronic conduction, allowing it to respond to a wide range of frequencies. This means that DNA is not just reacting to specific bands of EMFs, but to the entire spectrum. From the extremely low frequencies of natural phenomena to the high frequencies of modern technology. And as it responds, DNA is changed. The invisible rainbow is not just a force of destruction, but of transformation. Throughout the history of life on Earth, these interactions have driven the process of evolution. The early geologic epochs were marked by massive shifts in electromagnetic activity. And with each shift, life responded, evolving, adapting to the new conditions. The invisible rainbow shaped the course of life, subtly guiding its path through the ages. Now, in the modern age, the interaction has taken on new significance. We are surrounded by a technological landscape that pulses with electromagnetic energy. Cell towers, Wi-Fi signals, radio waves. They form an invisible web, a new layer of interaction with the living world. And DNA, ever sensitive, ever responsive, continues to react. But this time, the stakes are higher. The complexity of modern life, the density of electromagnetic signals, creates a new challenge for the body. For the first time in history, the invisible rainbow is omnipresent. It touches every part of our world, every living thing. The question remains, what will this mean for the future of life on Earth? Will DNA continue to adapt, as it has for billions of years? Or will the constant pressure of EMF exposure overwhelm its ability to evolve? These questions lie at the heart of the mystery. We stand at the edge of a new understanding of life and the invisible forces that shape it. The invisible rainbow connects us all, weaving through time and space. A reminder that life is more than what we can see. It is what we cannot see that often holds the most power. In the silence of electromagnetic waves, in the invisible hum of the universe, DNA dances. It bends, it breaks, it reforms, always in motion, always responding to the unseen. And so, we are left to wonder: is the invisible rainbow a friend or a foe? A guide or a danger? The answers are as elusive as the forces themselves. But one thing is clear. The invisible rainbow will continue to shape the course of life, as it has always done. Silent, unseen, but ever present. It is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the force that binds the living world to the deep frequencies of the cosmos. In this interplay of waves and life, we find ourselves at the center of a cosmic dance. The invisible rainbow is both a gift and a warning. A reminder that we are never alone, that we are part of something much greater than ourselves. And as we move forward into the unknown, the invisible rainbow will continue to guide us, silently shaping the future of life on this planet. DNA is not a passive structure. It is a delicate instrument, tuned to the frequencies of the universe. For eons, it has danced to the rhythm of the Earth's magnetic field. But now, that rhythm has been disrupted. The natural world once moved in harmony with the frequencies that shaped it. The gentle pull of the Earth's magnetic waves, the subtle fluctuations of cosmic rays, all these forces guided life along its evolutionary path. DNA, in its fractal design, responded, adapting to the shifting patterns of the planet's electromagnetic pulse. But in the last century, something changed. A new layer was added to the electromagnetic spectrum. A layer that was not born from the Earth or the stars, but from human innovation. Radio waves, microwaves, wireless signals, they now fill the air, saturating the space around us. DNA, ever sensitive, began to respond in ways that were not yet fully understood. Where once it was guided by the steady pulse of the Earth's natural fields, it now finds itself bombarded by a cacophony of artificial frequencies. Each wave, each signal, leaves its mark. We are not aware of it. We do not feel it. Yet, within the deepest parts of our cells, DNA reacts. The studies are clear: electromagnetic fields can alter the structure of DNA. They can cause strands to break, to twist, to misfold. But these are not just physical changes. They represent something deeper. They represent a shift in the very code of life. What does it mean for life to be influenced by invisible forces? What does it mean for the fundamental blueprint of who we are to be rewritten by waves of energy we cannot see? The questions are profound. In the scientific community, there is growing recognition of the impact of electromagnetic fields on biological systems. Researchers have discovered that the DNA within our cells is particularly vulnerable. Like a finely tuned antenna, DNA reacts to these fields in ways that are still being explored. At low frequencies, the impact may seem subtle, almost imperceptible. But at higher frequencies, the effects become more pronounced. Cells enter a state of stress. Proteins are released in response, signaling that something is wrong. DNA, the very fabric of life, begins to fray. But this is not just a story of destruction. It is also a story of adaptation. Throughout history, life has always found ways to adapt to the forces that shape it. From the earliest microbes to the complexity of human civilization, DNA has been both resilient and flexible. And yet, there is a limit. There is a point at which adaptation may no longer be enough. The invisible rainbow that now surrounds us is stronger and more pervasive than anything life on Earth has experienced before. The sheer volume of electromagnetic fields in the modern world is unprecedented. And the question remains, how long can DNA withstand this onslaught? As our understanding deepens, it becomes clear that the interaction between EMFs and DNA is not just a matter of biology. It touches on something much more profound. In ancient times, the invisible forces of the universe were seen as sacred. The energy that moved through the earth and the heavens was viewed as a connection to something greater, something divine. DNA, as the carrier of life, was part of this cosmic web. And now, as we move through an age of technological advancement, that ancient connection still exists. DNA continues to respond to the invisible forces around it, but the nature of those forces has changed. We are living in a world where the invisible rainbow is no longer just the electromagnetic pulse of the planet, but a network of human-made frequencies. A web that stretches across the globe, connecting every device, every person, every thought. The implications of this are vast. What does it mean for life when the very code of our existence is influenced by signals that were never part of the natural order? What does it mean for the future of our species? DNA, with its fractal design, will continue to react to the world around it. It will continue to be shaped by the frequencies it encounters. But the question is whether this shaping will lead to evolution or destruction. As we push further into the digital age, we must consider the consequences of the invisible forces we have unleashed. We must ask ourselves what kind of world we are creating, not just for ourselves, but for the DNA that binds all life together. The invisible rainbow connects us, but it also divides us. It is a force that shapes the future, but it is also a force that could unravel the delicate threads of life. In the silence of our everyday existence, DNA continues its dance with the electromagnetic fields that surround it. It twists and turns, adapting to the signals that pass through it, trying to find balance in a world that has become increasingly chaotic. This is the true power of the invisible rainbow. It is both creation and destruction. A force that can guide life to new heights or bring it to its knees. And as we stand at the precipice of a new era, we must decide how we will respond. Will we continue to bombard the natural world with the invisible forces of our own making, or will we find a way to live in harmony with the ancient frequencies that have shaped life for billions of years? The choice is ours, but the consequences are already being felt. In the smallest cells of our bodies, in the tiniest strands of DNA, the story is being written. The invisible rainbow is more than just a force of nature. It is a reflection of who we are, of the world we have built, and of the future we are creating. And so, as we move forward into the unknown, we must remember that the invisible forces that shape our world also shape us. DNA, the code of life, will continue to respond. It will continue to adapt. But whether that adaptation leads to survival or collapse depends on the choices we make today. The invisible rainbow is not just a scientific concept. It is a reminder